Oh, I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, covering as much as I can. Recently, Spotify has been having a lot of updates, and frankly, for Android users, they look as if they're mostly bug fixes. Apple users tend to be getting little cool things here and there, and the Android users are almost falling behind. But now we're finally catching up to the iPhone. One thing that tends to really annoy me that I'm glad we have now is gapless playback. I hate when I'm sitting there jamming to a song, it ends, and then I'm sitting there contemplating life for 3 seconds as I wait for my next song to start. So gapless playback allows me to, well, not have to wait. It's gapless. Another thing that's been added is crossfade. This has been here for a little while, but it's had major bugs and issues where when I cannot say transitioning with braces. When changing to the next song, it will merge really early, almost like 10 seconds before the song was over. Now they finally fixed that, and we can change how long we want the transition to be. If you like that 10-second transition, man, where you want to merge Taylor Swift's Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar's Humble for 12 seconds, you go for it. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of crossfade. I never use it, but you do you. Another thing I've liked, loved, another thing I've enjoyed, let's go with that. It's 12 a.m., I'm tired, but I felt the need to document this. Another thing that I enjoyed being added was normalizing the volume. I listen to a lot of different genres of music, as most of you may know. If you know me, I will be listening to Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift, and then go and listen to Slipknot and Pierce the Veil and Motionless in White and all of these really heavy bands. And I would have my volume blasting because I was listening to Justin Bieber, and then all of a sudden there will be deadly screaming and guitar riffs and hard drums that'll literally pop my eardrum. It's happened before. And so now with normalizing the volume, I'm able to keep that from happening, so I could have my music turned up all the way. But once Slipknot starts playing, it's not going to all of a sudden go up 10 levels. Next thing I really liked to see was behind the lyrics. What that is when you turned it on, it literally lets you go behind the lyrics. Only certain songs do it. Mostly new songs of today or like really big hits. So let me go into... And it's not going to show up anything. This is probably the second time I've tried recording this, and before it did. Here, let's go to this playlist. It's definitely got something that'll show up behind the lyrics. Anyways, until I'm able to get this figured out, all you do, you open this up and you hit the middle where it has the picture of that album or song, and it'll come up with little things about the artist, behind the scenes, how they started, and the meaning of the lyrics. And occasionally, depending on how big the song is, it will display the important lyrics for you to sing along to. We are getting closer and closer to karaoke mode in mobile, which I'm excited for, because when we had it on the computer and then they stripped it, I was basically heartbroken. I was crushed, and I felt betrayed by Spotify. Here we go. Behind the lyrics now shows up. So as you can see, it'll tell you about the song and so forth. One of the other great things that I very, very much enjoyed seeing was the equalizer mode. Freak accident. I let my dog get too hyper, too excited. He tripped me. I fell onto my beats and broke them. I'm literally the definition of ghetto fabulous, walking around with my taped beats. I got sick and tired of getting looks, so now that kid sitting in the corner with the cheap headsets that she got when purchasing her phone. So I noticed the equalizer option. I clicked it and I was like, disclaimer, whatever, I'm going to breeze through this. Next thing you know, it brings me to this front page. What's this? I can now turn up my bass, treble, decide if I want more instrument or vocals, and clean up my sound, make my sound surround, or make myself sound as if I'm in a concert hall, which was really neat because without having my beats, I definitely didn't have the same sound with Spotify that I did. People harp on them. I had the solo twos. I really enjoyed the dirty sound from it. I listened to a lot of rap and a lot of dirty music, so it was good seeing that I could have just a little bit more of a taste with that. Another thing that's with the Android users is Adapt Sound. It'll give off this beeping pulse and do a couple other things. I didn't really go through it because the beeping pulse hurt my head, but it'll adapt the sound to your liking. iPhone users will have a setup more like this, where it'll be a graph that you could individually adjust what he, she, or of course you want. iPhone users, sadly, we don't have this yet, you guys, but iPhone users also have preset options. So there will be rap, rock, pop, and so forth. So you can automatically click, boom, I'm listening to rap, okay. It'll automatically change to bass up, mid up, treble, right around in the middle, and go from there. Another thing that Spotify has added for Android users finally is private session. I am not too fond when my friends are asking me why I'm having throwbacks listening to Mean by Taylor Swift. So throwing on my private session allows me to quit getting lectures from them. It's worse when I start listening to the old Paramore albums again. Aside from that, Stranger Things mode. I've probably scrolled by this and I'm like, this is the one for last. This is my favorite one. Stranger Things mode basically has Spotify go into your playlist, look at your your listening habits, and then finds which Stranger Things character you are just like, and then what your music playlist should be. I got Eleven's breakfast playlist, which was really neat. So basically to do this, all you have to do is turn off your private session. That way Spotify can look through and see what you're listening to. Turn on Stranger Things mode. That way you're basically giving it permission to go through your music. Go to this wonderful little website, spotify-strangerthings.com. And you can do it. So if you are already signed into Spotify on your phone, it'll automatically do it through the internet. So if I can just get to the home page, here we go. Log into Spotify. It automatically does it for me. It'll just ask you for a permission thing. I had already done it before. So 11's Breakfast Jams, and it allows me to listen to the full playlist and add it to my queue. If you don't have a Spotify playlist or you just don't feel like signing in, you can choose guests. What guests will do is it'll have you pick 5 of your favorite artists out of the given categories. And from there, it will find which playlist is best for you. Cough, cough. You know you're doing that when you're an Apple Music listener and you don't want to be given the shade. Well, I'm giving you shade about it because I actually had a friend that did this. She's like, oh, let me take this quiz, found what her playlist was and all of the songs that was on it, and then made a playlist on Apple Music exactly the same. Like, girl, Spotify thought about it first. Get Spotify and get off Apple Music. I'm so gonna get monetized and copyrighted for all this. Anyways, that's pretty much all of the cool things that I've seen in Spotify recently with the Android updates. Hopefully we will be getting more updates soon and catch up with all of the advancements that the iPhone people have. Thank you. Love me. I'm too tired to be doing this. Whatever, like, comment, subscribe. I really don't care at this point, and bye.